Hey everybody, welcome to our preview of round number 12 of the Monster Energy AMA Supercross and FIM World Championships. Todd Harris alongside Daniel Blair, Ricky Carmichael, and Will Christien. All right, guys, let's get into it. After round 11 in the 250 West class, it is up for grabs. 4 races, 4 different winners. Ricky, I'll start with you. You were not making a prediction, but you were leaning towards Hunter Lawrence, and you just saw something in him during practice. What made you believe that he could get that win, and what makes you think he might be able to back it up?
With just how well he rode, how he rode at the beginning, first round in Arlington. I mean, he really rode a picture-perfect race, minus his win. He was unbelievable, and you could just see things starting to grow. Him grow as a rider and building that confidence. And quite frankly, he has a lot of racing experience, and you got to feel like once he learns how to do what he was able to do in the MXGP series, and he's able to apply that into Supercross, he's going to be a force to be reckoned with. There's no doubt about it. So I had a feeling in the back of my mind that we would see something special from the 41 if he put himself in the right position, and he did just that.
Daniel, if you had to pick someone that was going to get their second win in the 250 West class, of the 4 winners we've seen so far, who do you think it's going to be?
I have to say Justin Cooper. I mean, he won the opening round, so the word easily might not be fair, but he kind of did. He got out front and just rode his own race like no issue at all. And I feel like he has the all the pieces of the puzzle to do that again. He just has to get out of the gate and get out front. You know, at Arlington too, their 4th round, he had a good start. He was more up front, kind of near that front pack. And I'm thinking, okay, he's back up in that group where I think he belongs. But I'm just confused by the mistakes. I'm confused by the starts. I'm confused how difficult this has been for him to back up what he did the opening round, which was the round we were the most concerned about. He talked about his low prep and he didn't have time on the bike, and that one went so perfectly. Maybe that threw him off. I don't know. But if we're going to see a second-time winner this season, my money would be on him because I still think he's the fastest in the class. But I'm just confused. I'm sure he's confused. I'm sure the team's confused. But I still think he has more pieces to the puzzle than anybody. He just has got to find a way to put them together.
And Will, can you make a case for someone getting their first win and making it 5 races, 5 different winners?
It's honestly, with what we've seen, you could go down the list and just and say, okay, and start to pick a few guys, right? Because we have got, you know, a lot of parity, and we talked about that right from the very beginning. So do I think we're going to get a 5th new winner? Honestly, I think it's probably, to Daniel's point, I think it's probably going to be the time that we're going to see somebody take their second win. I mean, saying that, we also before Tuesday night racing were like, I think we'll see that again tonight, and here we are in this situation. But I think now everybody's got 2 rounds at Arlington, you know, under their belt, so they figured out the track a little bit more. I do honestly think that we're going to get a second-time winner here, perhaps on Saturday night.
Such an emotional performance, and Hunter Lawrence getting that victory, that was huge. All right, let's switch over to the 450 class. Ricky, Cooper Webb was riding so well in practice, but it was Eli Tomac that had the fastest time. How much do you buy into the 3 big names up front running for that entire main event, and Cooper was able to hold them off, and so that's basically the way we sit right now?
Yeah, there was so much anticipation, and like those races are so like hard to watch because you're waiting for one of those guys to slip, and really they didn't. Except for Eli Tomac. He had that one little slip out of the corner, and then he lost a lot of time and then wasn't able to reel Cooper back up. But at the end of the day, this is what I'm looking forward to. If Cooper sweeps this Arlington residency, it's going to be a huge confidence boost. But we got to remember, the rest of the series is going to be outside, and we're going to be dealing with Mother Nature. And I just find it hard to believe that we're going to be able to go to Atlanta and race outside 3 times and there not be some kind of inclement weather. That's my opinion. And then we're going to Salt Lake City. Anything could happen there. So this race, this championship is far from over. That's what I'm looking for, despite even if Cooper Webb is able to pull off the hat trick here in Arlington.
Daniel, what was more impressive to you, that Cooper Webb got the whole shot, stayed in front with the 2 best, with Eli Tomac and Ken Roczen behind him, and didn't make a mistake, or the fact that the rest of the field was pushing him and really no one had an answer for his speed? Can he get the sweep in Arlington on Saturday night?
I think he can. And to Ricky's point, this would be nice for him in the points, and it would be nice for him to kind of get this chapter done as we go outside, because other variables I think could come into play. Ricky, we got lucky in Orlando twice, in Daytona. The only other times we were outside, and somehow we missed those. So I'm with you. I think we got some weather coming out. It's going to be hard to miss the whole season. But I was just surprised that Cooper Webb has found this new speed. We've kind of noticed it now for a month. And Look, in a one-on-one fight late in the race, you know, when he gets it in his world where you just kind of get in that little fight, he's good, but he's been able to beat those guys without having the speed. Now he's got the speed too. So it's like not only can he beat you in the one-on-one, but you might not even have a chance at a one-on-one because he's pulling away with 7-8 minutes left. So to me, the most impressive thing with Cooper Webb has been his ability to stay who he is as a racer, that mental side, but find that new speed, because if he's got that, I don't really know what's missing now other than maybe an outside influence like weather. I don't see a weakness. So I'm blown away by his ability to put everything together, even the one piece that he's never had, which was top end speed. He's got that now, and that's bad for everybody.
Will, can you make a case for Ken Roczen getting back to the form that he was in Indianapolis when he swept that residency?
It's getting harder too, isn't it? It's getting harder to do that, especially as we said. You know, we're 2 races deep now in Arlington. The guys have had time to adjust to the track a little bit, and it wasn't a bad performance. It wasn't a bad start, right? But what we saw there was those 3 in a battle, and we were able to look at the 3 of them and see how that was going to pan out. And that was kind of a little bit of a predictor, if you like, for us. And he lost those 2. They gapped him. I honestly would probably find it a little easier to make an argument that we might see Tomac back up there for this 3rd one, because you talked about it, Todd. He had that mistake. Had he not had that mistake, would things have turned out differently? Would he have got Cooper? Well, obviously we don't know. But I did talk to the Cowie team. They said they made a few adjustments. Maybe it means nothing, but we also know what a little bit of comfort means to him. So what's Ken Roczen doing this week? Is he able to make his adjustments and do that? Is there perhaps a little bit of comfort that he's missing? And you know, we know this whole mental sort of side of things that he has been dealing with all season long. It's been working in his favor for the most part, but now here he is in this situation where he had those 2 out in front of him. We know what that does for points. We've seen it. What does that do to him mentally? Is he able to set that aside and go, those 2, they left? You know, it wasn't a huge gap, but they left. And now he's got to deal with that as well. You know, yeah, they can hit the reset button somewhat when we leave Texas. So I guess we'll see, but it's going to have to be soon. We're running out of time here, right?
Ricky, what are you looking forward to on Saturday night? What do you think is going to be the big telltale sign as you watch practice the lead up to the main events?
I mean, if you're Cooper Webb, you got to keep the momentum going. You got to think there's some added pressure or added incentive to go out there and pull off the hat trick and do the Arlington sweep. So that's what I'll be looking for. And I'm looking for some extra effort out of the 94 and Eli Tomac to keep themselves in the game. To Daniel's point, they don't want to rely on inclement weather. They're getting to that stage. And if they don't start beating Cooper Webb, they're going to be it is all going to be a dream for them to win this championship at that point.
Daniel, you sensing any people starting to get ready to put up the white flag and now just battle for podium positions on the overall? Or is there still some fight in the bellies of some of these guys?
Yeah, I love the fight. I mean, you're seeing Jason Anderson ride super aggressive. He's got this, you know, mentality like, man, I'm just sick of waiting around. I'm sick of not being in the conversation. And he's riding aggressive. Even when he goes off the track, he aggressively rides along the side of the track. That was the fastest run of the whoops I've ever seen in my career or in my years of watching. Ricky, that was unbelievable how fast he blitzed the side of the whoops. Aaron Plessinger getting these heat race wins. He's obviously fighting. So as much as we are focused on that championship, because that is the top story, there's these little stories that are kind of developing too that make it fun. And I don't think we've seen the last of Marvin Musquin. I think this crash that he had might take him back just a second, but he'll get back into the fight. So for me, I'm with Ricky. I'm watching this championship, but my other eye is watching these riders who are right now breaking out right at the right time and starting to make noise. And again, these are riders that they're in their last year of their contract, and you got to take that into consideration. These guys want employment in 2022. You got to do something in 2021. That means you got to fight and not only put it on paper, but show visually that you're a fighter. And I like what I'm seeing out of a few of these guys. They're looking for their own. I like that.
Well, we're excited to wrap things up here. Our residency here in Arlington, Texas comes to a conclusion Saturday night, round number 12. You can see it live on Peacock coming up at 8 p.m. live commercial-free Peacock Premium, or if you want to watch it later on night, 10:30 p.m. on NBCSN. It should be fantastic. And remember, after that, just 5 races, 3 in Atlanta, 2 in Salt Lake, champion crown. So for Ricky Carmichael, Daniel Blair, and Will Christien, I'm Todd Harris. We'll see you then.
Hi, I'm Will Christien, and thank you all so much for watching. I'm here to remind you to hit subscribe for all the latest Supercross news and highlights. And of course, don't forget to sign up for Peacock Premium. That is now the new home for streaming for all live Supercross events all season long.